Chapter 2. The First Trade. Arin couldn't sleep. The silver bar lay on his desk, catching every stray glint of moonlight like a quiet invitation. It felt heavier than raw metal, like a responsibility or a warning. He held it, turning it over in his hands, imagining what could come next. If he could turn clay into silver, what else could he do? By morning, curiosity pushed aside fear. He stuffed the silver bar into a small cloth bag and walked toward the city's old jeweler's district. He rehearsed lies in his mind. It was my grandfather's. I found it in a drawer. It's from an auction. His heartbeat thundered louder with every step. The shop he entered was narrow, filled with glass cases and the smell of metal polish. Behind the counter was a man with a thin white beard and the sharpest eyes Arin had ever seen. "How can I help you?" the jeweler asked. Arin placed the bar gently on the glass counter. "Just want to know what this is worth." The man examined it with tools, weights, and a small torch. Minutes passed like hours. Finally, the jeweler exhaled deeply. "This," he said, "is nearly pure silver, high grade, very rare to find in this form." Arin swallowed. "What's it worth?" The old man scribbled a number on a slip of paper and slid it over. Arin's eyes widened. With just a lump of clay, he had earned more than a month's salary. The jeweler's gaze locked onto him. "Where'd you get this, boy?" Arin's throat tightened. Everything in him wanted to turn and run. Instead, he forced a smile. "Family keepsake." The lie didn't convince even himself, but the old man didn't press. He simply nodded, counted cash, and handed it over. Arin walked out of the shop with shaky legs and a pocket full of money. He expected relief. Instead, he felt watched. Every passerby seemed to stare too long. Every car engine sounded suspicious. He kept glancing over his shoulder until he reached his apartment. He closed the door behind him and leaned against it, breathing fast. It worked. It actually worked. His mind raced. If he could turn clay into silver, he could turn scrap metal into gold, sand into microchips, stone into diamonds. He could build an empire, but something gnawed at him, the jeweler's long stare, the way his hand trembled slightly when he touched the bar. That night, Arin tested his power again. He placed a piece of scrap iron on the floor, focused, felt the warm ripple under his fingertips. The iron shifted, shining, glittering, until he was holding a pure gold bracelet. His breath caught. But then something strange happened. He felt lightheaded. A sudden wave of dizziness washed over him. His knees buckled and he dropped the bracelet, clutching the wall for support. His vision blurred. For a moment, everything went dark. When he opened his eyes again, he saw something that made his blood run cold. The gold bracelet was vibrating. Not physically. No. It was humming with energy, faint at first, then growing like a second heartbeat. Arin stepped back. "What the hell?" The metal glowed faintly, pulsing. Then, without warning, bang! A bright flash. The bracelet cracked into two pieces, smoke curling from it as if it had exploded from the inside. Arin stumbled back, terrified. The old man's words echoed in his mind. "You'll face a time when this ability can make you powerful or destroy you." He stared at the broken gold pieces on the floor, heart pounding. Something was wrong. He had traded metal for metal, but he hadn't considered something crucial. What if every transformation came with a hidden cost? What if every trade shifted something else, something he couldn't see? And more frightening, what if someone else in the world already knew that? Like, share, comment, and subscribe.